Hello everyone, in this video we will be learning SQL, that is Structured Query Language. It's a powerful tool used to manage large amount of data. Yes guys, data. It's the backbone of SQL. Without data, SQL would be just a useless tool. Because using SQL only, we store, manipulate and retrieve data. So let's first understand what data is and from where it's being generated. Guys, according to research, around 1.145 trillion megabytes of data is generated every day. The growth of technology, internet and use of social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, Uber, Swiggy has led to an exponential increase in the amount of data. From our online searches to social media activities and from the food we order to the reviews we leave some data. Facebook has over 2.8 billion monthly active users, the largest food delivery platforms in India. Yes guys, I am talking about Swiggy only. The average Swiggy user places around 2 to 3 orders per month. Doing this, we are generating data. Guys, these were just the 2 examples. Apart from this, Google, Instagram, Uber, Rapido and many more websites and applications generates huge amount of data. So let me tell you, data is nothing fancy but simply the information that we are using every day, like your name, address, phone number, etc. You might be now thinking this is SQL tutorial, right? Then why we are talking about data and data continuously? As I already told you, SQL is useless without data. So if you want to learn SQL in a very practical way, it's a must to understand data and its management systems first. And soon we will be implementing SQL on your favorite food ordering website. Yes guys, ZOMATO. And we'll answer some interesting questions like how many orders of dahi bhalla were made on Saturday, or in which city cheese pizza is most popular. So coming back to data, what do you think guys, where this much of data is kept? Like we need cupboards to keep our clothes, containers for the groceries available in our kitchen. Similarly, we need containers to store and organize our data. And those containers are here known as databases. Now this data can be in different forms, like the comments on your Facebook and Instagram are in text format, the pictures you share with your friends via Snapchat are as images, the voice calls you make on WhatsApp are saved as audios, the ratings you give on ZOMATO, Uber are in the form of numbers. So there are many types of databases. But when it comes to data structures, it can be classified into 2 types, structured and non-structured. Structured data is the information in an organized way. In simple words, if I say data in tabular format, which is nothing but the combination of rows and columns. So the information like your name, salary falls in this category only. On the other hand, data that doesn't have a clear structure like images, audios or videos are non-structured data. So to store structured data, we use relational databases like MySQL, Oracle, Microsoft SQL Server. And for non-structured data, we use non-relational databases like MongoDB, Apache, Redis and many more. So now guys, how to interact with this data which is inside our database? For this, we need a system that manages data and acts as an interface between users to interact with the data. And that is called DBMS, Database Management System. It's a software that enables us to interact with the data, allows us to perform operations like adding, modifying and retrieving data. DBMS used for relational databases is called RDBMS. Relational Database Management System. RDBMS is a type of DBMS only that organizes data into tables. So now that we have understood data, database and database management systems, it's time to deep dive into SQL. As we human beings need a language to communicate and express our thoughts. It can be Hindi, English, French, etc. Similarly, to communicate with databases, we need a special kind of language. So relational databases uses SQL as a language and non-relational databases uses NoSQL. NoSQL stands for not only SQL. Since in this era of growing data, many organizations struggle to manage large amount of data, which leads to a decreased productivity. SQL provides a solution to these challenges by allowing organizations to store and retrieve data in a centralized database. SQL allows users to build database views, stored procedures, triggers, and functions. So come, let's understand SQL in a very practical way on a very interesting data set, ZOMATO. So guys, what do you think? How ZOMATO analyzes your data? ZOMATO uses SQL to extract information from their relational databases. Inside that only, all the information of their users, the products they are offering, and the transactions that have happened is stored. So ZOMATO would just write SQL queries to select specific data from their database, and that database would return requested data in a very structured format. And guys, this is how ZOMATO analyzes your data.
So guys, let's jump into MySQL Workbench. And as you can see, this is the interface of MySQL Workbench. Mainly there are three sections: left, center and bottom. So in this left section, we have all our databases. And at present, as you can see, there are 4 databases with us. In this center part, which is the most important part of this interface, we write SQL queries. And at this bottom part, we get status of all the queries we are executing, right? So you might be now wondering why we are using this MySQL Workbench for executing our SQL queries. Guys, SQL is a language which we use to communicate with the databases, while this MySQL Workbench is a database management system. So this workbench allows us to write SQL queries to communicate with these databases. Now the question is, can't we use any other database management system like PostgreSQL, SQLite, Oracle and many more? So the answer to this is yes, of course we can. But the syntax of queries may vary slightly. So let's learn how to create a database in SQL, and for that we have command create database and name of that database. So this semicolon tells us that this is the end of this query, right? And this ZOMATO is the name of my database, and you can keep it anything like student, employee or anything on whatever you are working, right? So what this create and database are? Guys, these two are the keywords. So what are keywords? Keywords are nothing but the set of reserved words in any programming language which are used to perform some specific operations. So here this create is used as to create any object, like it can be function or database, table, views, it can be anything, right? So I hope you are clear with this command, create database and name of this database, and like this you can create any database, right? So let's run this command, and to run any command in SQL we have two options. Whether we can do it by Ctrl plus enter using our keyboard, or if you want to go with shortcut, so here is this lightning icon which you can use to run any command. So for that we will just select this command and click on this lightning icon. Wow, our query is executed successfully. Yes guys, this green button, this green icon shows that our query is executed successfully. Now we cannot see our database with name ZOMATO here. So for that, sometimes you have to click on this refresh button to refresh all these schemas, right? So just click on this refresh button, and now this ZOMATO appears to be here, right? Now the next step is to tell this MySQL Workbench that which database are we going to use further, right? Guys, as you can see on this left hand side schemas, at present we are having 5 databases. So it's obvious that we have to tell MySQL that in which database we want to create our tables or we want to write our queries, anything, right? And for that we will use command use and name of that database. So like I want to make my tables in ZOMATO dataset, so I will use this use and name of database. Now let's run this query, and this time I will run this query using Control plus Enter from my keyboard. So Control plus Enter, and here you can see this query is successfully executed, right? So now as we have created this database and we are using this database, guys, using a database simply means that whatever we are going to do further, like creating table or writing any queries, we are going to do on this database, means on ZOMATO only, right? So now let's create a table inside this database ZOMATO. Now you might be thinking why we are creating a table. Guys, as I've already explained you earlier, that structured data is stored in tables only. So a table is nothing but data in tabular way. It consists of rows and columns. A single row is called a tuple, whereas a single column is known as attribute. An attribute has a name and specific data type. Yes, data type. Let's take an example. Like I want to create an attribute student name. So what do you think? What will be the data type of this attribute? As names are always in the form of strings, like John, Jack, Sam, all these are strings. Name can't be like 2015 or -426. Yes, obviously. So the data type of this attribute student name will be varchar. And let's say I want to create one more attribute, age. So this time my data type will be integer because age is a number, right? So there can be many data types like integer, char, varchar, and many more. So now let's have a look at this table, guys. It has 15 tuples and 6 attributes. The name of these attributes are order ID, name, orders, price, quantity, and total price, right? And the name of this table is ZOMATO orders. Why we are giving a name to this table? Because in SQL, table without name doesn't exist. And while creating name of any table in SQL, just make sure that table name is unique, because there cannot be two tables with same name in a single database, right? So let's now create a table. To create a table in SQL, we will use command create table, the name of that table, and inside parenthesis we will write all the attributes we are having, right? So this order ID is having data type as integer, and there is also a constraint that is primary key, right? So you might be thinking like what this constraint is. So let me tell you, constraint is a restriction specified by the user, right? So here this primary key means this column, this order ID column should have unique values and not null values, right? It means all the values inside this order ID like 1, 2, 3, then I cannot repeat 2, or I cannot leave any value blank for this particular column. This is the meaning of this constraint primary key, right? Now there are many more constraints apart from primary key, like unique, not null, foreign key, and many more are there. So guys, if you want to learn constraints in very detail, so do let me know in the comment section. Now apart from this order ID, our second attribute is name, and this name is having data type as varchar, and inside this varchar I have specified a number. So what does this number mean? Guys, this is the maximum size this attribute can take, right? Then orders, it's also in the form of varchar. Price can be decimal, right? And you know decimals are like 10.2, 3.56 and many more, right? And quantity is the number of quantities a person has ordered, right? So this is my table. So guys, we have written this command to create a table. Now let's run this and see what happens. So here you can see this table is created successfully, right? So what if I say that I want to see this table? How can I see that? For that we will use command select string from and name of this table. Guys, this string means select all the rows, right? So if I want to fetch all the rows from this table, then I will write this command string. And say if I want to fetch any particular column, price or quantity or name, anything, then I can specify it here, right? So let's now run this command select string from and then the name of table from which we want to fetch our data. Now let's run this and see what happens. So fine, here we can see this is our table. Fine, this table looks like an empty cupboard now, and we are going to keep our clothes in a very organized manner in this empty table, like pants in the first section, shirts in the another section, and so on. So here also we will insert values in different columns one by one. Right, so fine guys, till now we have seen how to create a database, how to use it, and then create table inside that database and how to see that table. Right, guys, isn't it looks like if we are communicating with our friend in English language? And that's the specialty of SQL, means structured query language, that it's just like giving orders to someone in English. Do this, do that. Like I'm giving orders to SQL, create a database for me, then create a table for me, select all the data from this table and so on. So guys, I hope you are clear with all the concepts till now. So next we will insert values in this empty table. To insert values in a table, we will use command insert into the name of the table in which we want to insert our values, then the name of all the features or attributes, or we can also say columns, so that are order ID, name, orders, price and quantity. So if you will notice, we have created a table with 6 columns. So total price column is not here, right? Because I am not giving value of this total price column now. Later we will give it, right? So to insert values in table, we will write this command, then values. So now how many rows I want to insert? So one by one all the rows are here. Like for first row, this is the order ID, this is the name, Anaya is the name, order is cheese pizza, for price 200 and to quantity she has ordered, and so on. We have inserted 15 rows in this table, right? So this empty table looked like this. Now if we want to see after inserting these values how my table looks like, for that first we will have to run this query, right? So we will just run this query, right? And now I want to see how my table looks like, and for that we will use this command select all from ZOMATO order, right? Now let's run this command and see how my new table looks like, means after inserting values. So this is my new table with all the values. So here you can see all the 15 rows got inserted in this table, and this total price column is still empty because we haven't entered values for this total price column, right? So this is how to insert values in a table. So before going further, just have a look at this table and try to understand it. So we have total 15 rows, 6 columns, out of which we have entered values in 5 columns only, right? So at first we have Anaya, who has ordered cheese pizza for price 200, and she has ordered 2 quantities of cheese pizza. And let's say Sahil, so he has ordered vegetable curry for rupees 220 and quantity is 2. And similarly, some people have ordered 1 quantity, some have ordered 2, some have ordered 3, and price is also varying for different orders, right? And the orders are also like cheese pizza, masala dosa, and many more, right? And just focus on this order ID column, because we have specified a primary key constraint on this, so all these rows are having different values, or we can say unique values, and none of these values is null, right? Whereas in other attributes you can see the values are repeating, like here is it's 2 and here also it's 2, like that, right? And in orders also some of the values are repeating, like cheese pizza, once again there is cheese pizza, here it's dahi bhalla, and here also it's dahi bhalla. But here in order ID all the values are unique and none of the value is null or empty, we can say, right? So I just hope you guys understood how to create a database, how to create a table, then how to insert data inside those tables, and how to fetch data from that table. This was all the basic of tables and databases. So now it's time to answer some very interesting questions which can help Zomato to grow its business, right? So guys, Zomato first wants to know that who have ordered dahi bhalla from its website, right? And to answer this question for Zomato, we will write a SQL command, which is select string from Zomato order where orders is equals to dahi bhalla, right? So now let's first understand this query. This query says select. Guys, select statement is the most basic and widely used query. This string means select all the rows from the name of table, means select all the rows from name of table. We have already seen this query earlier. So let's first run this query and see what the result was. Okay, so this was giving us all the records. Here you can see in result we are getting 15 rows, means complete table. Now I have added something extra here. What does it mean? So where orders is equal to dahi bhalla. Now what is this where? Guys, where is a clause in SQL. It is used to filter records. So it only extracts those rows which will satisfy this given condition. So what the condition I have given here is orders should be dahi bhalla, right? So select all the rows from this table where orders is equals to dahi bhalla. Now let's see where my orders is equals to dahi bhalla. Orders means it was an attribute for us. So who have ordered dahi bhalla? Dhruv, then Reva, and here you can see Salina on number 11. So these 3 guys only ordered dahi bhalla. So this query should return me only with these 3 rows. So to verify this, let's run this query and check our results. I will run this query using this lightning icon. And here you can see Dhruv, Reva and Salina. So I am here with these 3 records, right? So this was about the first question. Now guys, before moving on to our second query, let's first have a look at this table we have made. So let's run this and see our result. So here you might be thinking why this total price column is still showing null values. Simple, because we haven't inserted any values inside this, right? So now we will not do it manually like before we have inserted these values manually, but we will make SQL do it for us, right? So let's first understand how this total price will take values. So for this we will take an example. Say Dhruv has ordered dahi bhalla for rupees 45. right? But he has ordered these two quantities. Guys, this price is the cost for one order, right? But he has made two orders. So according to you, what should be the total price? Obviously, it will be 45 multiplied by 2, that is 90 rupees. So Dhruv will cost 90 rupees, right? Okay. Say Shelly has ordered fried rice and the cost for one fried rice plate was 130. So what will be the total cost for her? It will be 130 multiplied by 2, that is 260. So you might be noticing that this total price is taking a general value, that is price multiplied by quantity. Fine. So we will just update this total price column using formula price multiplied by quantity. So how SQL will do it? Let's see. Update ZOMATO order. This is the name of our table. So we are going to update this table and we want to set this total price as price multiplied by quantity. So guys, before understanding this query, let me explain you one very basic thing. So you might be thinking, here I have written this total price in uppercase plus lowercase, and here this is in complete uppercase. So will it not make a difference? So answer to this is no, it won't make any difference. Just have a look at this. We are writing some words in uppercase while some words in lowercase. Guys, in SQL it is recommended to use keywords in uppercases while all the normal words or variables we are using in lowercase, right? So even if you will make it in lowercase or this in uppercase, it won't make any difference. It won't make any change in the result. Fine. So let's understand this query now. Update table and set this total price column as price multiplied by quantity, which we have already seen. So guys, I hope you are now clear how to update any column in SQL, right? So let's just run this query and see what happens. Fine. So I have run this query and just check the status of our query. Guys, this is giving an error. Here you can see this red cross, right? This is giving us an error. So what this error is, just let's see. This is saying you are using safe update mode, right? So we have to go in preference, then SQL editor, and we have to toggle the option, right? So how we will do this? Just go to this edit option, preferences, right? Then SQL editor. When you will click here, you will get so many options. Now let's just toggle this last option. It's saying, because now we are in this safe update mode, so we cannot update the things, right? Let's just toggle it and click on OK. And guys, we have to again reconnect this SQL Workbench. So to do this, just I will save my file. So guys, I am restarting this SQL Workbench, and we will again run this query. So you can see on restarting, all our actions are now gone, right? So let's start again. We will just run this query again. Okay, now it is saying that we have not selected any database. So in initial only I have told you to do any work in MySQL Workbench, we are having so many databases, right? So we have to tell SQL which database we are going to use. So we will just again run this command, and now let's run this command update. Fine. So finally guys, we have updated this total price column, right? Now to see how our table looks like, we will just copy this command and we'll paste it here, and let's run this command now. So guys, we have run this command and we are having this output. Fine. So finally our total price column is updated. Now you can just match the values, like 200 multiplied by 2 is 400 and 45 multiplied by 2, that is 90. So fine, we are done with this. So guys, these are the programming languages, so it's obvious that you will get errors many times, but you should know how to handle these errors. You can just have a look at these messages and you can just resolve these errors very easily, guys, right? So guys, whenever you are going to order something on Zomato or Swiggy, many times you see an option like on order of 250 or more there will be free delivery or there will be no delivery charges, right? So our next query is based on this only, that Zomato wants to know who have got their orders with free delivery charges or no delivery charges, right? So for that we will write a query. Select string from Zomato order, which is the name of our table, of course, where it's the clause for giving a condition, and whatever we are writing after this where, if this condition is true, only those rows will be selected from this table, right? This is the meaning of this query. So now we want to fetch on or select only those rows from Zomato order where this condition total price is greater than or equal to 250, because we want only those rows where people have ordered for more than or equal to this price. So to get results, let's just run this query using this lightning icon, and here guys we are having the results, right? As you can see, there were total of 15 rows, but after running this query or after applying this where condition, we are having only 5 rows, or we can say only these 5 people, Anaya, Karan, Sahil, Vivan and Shelly, these have ordered with rupees 250 or more. So we can also say like these are the only people who will get free delivery, right? So now what is this greater than or equal to? Guys, in SQL this is called conditional operator. So apart from this there are many more conditional operators like less than, greater than, less than or equal to, not equal to and many more, right? So in coming lectures we will cover operators or conditional operators in detail. So basically what these conditional operators are doing, these are comparing the prices, these are comparing values, right? So this was all about conditional operator. Now let's move on to next operator, that is logical operator. The next type of operator we are going to study is logical operators. Guys, logical operators are used to combine conditional statements. Wait, let me explain you. Like this is a condition we have given in conditional operator that total price should be greater than or equal to 250. Let's say I have many conditions like this and I want a combined result of all those conditions. So in that case we will use these logical operators. So logical operators are nothing but the combined conditional statements. Fine. So let's understand it by an example, because I always think that to understand with example is very easy, right? So let's say Zomato wants to know how many orders of cheese pizza were made by Anaya. Read the question once again and you will just come to know what to do. How many orders of cheese pizza were made by Anaya? Fine. So here it's clear that we are given with two conditions. First is the order should be cheese pizza and the person name should be Anaya. Let's write a query for this. Fine. So select name, orders, quantity from this table which is Zomato order, and we are given with the conditions. So now in this case we have two conditions. First is order should be equal to cheese pizza and name should be Anaya. Fine. So now you might be thinking we were still using this string operator, so now why these three, right? So let me explain you. Because we want only name, orders and quantity. We want only these three columns, right? For this particular query, we don't want price or total price or order ID. So that is the reason, if you want to fetch any particular columns, so that also you can do using SQL. Just mention the name of columns here. And if you want all these columns, just mention string operator here. It's that simple, guys, right? So let's understand this query. Select these three columns from this table, that is ZOMATO order, where my condition is order should be cheese pizza and name should be Anaya. So there are mainly three types of logical operators: and, or and not. So in this case we are using AND operator. What does this AND operator do? It will return true. For this where condition, it will return true. Guys, whatever we are writing after this where, this complete will give true only if both the condition written on left hand side and right hand side of AND are true. Let me repeat it again for you. If both the conditions on left hand side and right hand side of AND operator are true, only in that case this complete will be true. What does it mean? If order is equal to cheese pizza and if it is ordered by Anaya, only that particular row will be selected from this complete table. Fine. So just have a look at this, at the result of this query. So here we can see name is Anaya and order is cheese pizza, and she have ordered two quantities. So I am getting only this particular result. So now you might be thinking, what if I will write OR here? So let's just write and check the result. So guys, according to you, what should be the result of this? Let me first explain you this OR operator. What does this OR operator do? So let's just run this query with OR operator and check the results. And this time you can see there are three rows, whereas when I have written AND operator here, I was having only one row. So why this? Let's understand. Guys, what does this OR operator do? If any of the condition written on both the sides is true, then this complete result will be true. Let's understand. Whether this order is cheese pizza or name is Anaya, if any of the condition is satisfied, then my result will be true. True means only those rows will be selected from this complete table, right? So here in result you can see any one of the condition is true. In this case it's like cheese pizza, cheese pizza, cheese pizza. So it's little tough to understand. So let's write a different query for understanding OR operator in a better way. So I will just replace this by AND operator. And let's again run this query. Fine. So I hope you have understood this AND operator. Now let's understand OR operator. So let's now understand with an example that how this OR operator is different from AND operator. Let's say ZOMATO wants to know that how many orders were made for vegetable curry or fried rice. Means now we are having condition that it can be either vegetable curry or it can be fried rice. So even if one of these conditions is true, then we will get the result for that, right? Let's write a query for this. Select name, orders, quantity from ZOMATO order, where this time my condition is order can be either equal to vegetable curry or order can be equal to fried idli, right? So guys, let's run this query and check the results and how it is different from this AND operator. Fine, let's run this query. And here this time you can see, guys, you can see both these conditions are not simultaneously true, but at a time one condition is true. Fine. So in this condition, orders is equals to fried idli, and here orders is equal to vegetable curry. And let me run this query again and explain how it is different from OR operator. So let me run this, and this time order is equal to cheese pizza and simultaneously name is equals to Anaya. So guys, that was the difference between and OR operator. So these were the two logical operators. Fine. Now we will understand this IN operator. Guys, this IN operator is nothing but the shorthand for multiple OR conditions. Wait, let me explain it. Let's say I want to know the name of only those people who have ordered either biryani or masala dosa or paneer butter masala. Fine. So this I can do using this OR operator. It's obvious. And how I will do that? Like where orders is equals to biryani or orders is equals to masala dosa, then one more OR condition, or orders is equals to paneer butter masala. But do you think this is the relevant way? Because now we have very small data set, just 15 rows and 6 columns. But just imagine the condition when you will have thousands of rows and hundreds of columns, and you will have condition like this. So in that condition we will use IN operator. So just understand this IN operator by answering this very simple question. So the query or the answer for this question will be select name orders from ZOMATO order where orders are in biryani, masala dosa or paneer butter masala, right? So this time I'm selecting only these two columns, name and orders, and my condition is that my orders can be from these three options only, right? So I can also add more options, but as of now let's just run this query and check the results. So I'll run this query using this icon, and guys, here you can see this acts in a similar manner as my OR operator was working. Fine. So I'm having these three rows, like Ishan has ordered masala dosa, Megha has ordered paneer butter masala, and Karan has ordered biryani. So this is all about IN operator. So guys, till now we have understood some conditional operators and some logical operators. There are many more operators present. In coming videos we will be explaining it in detail, so stay tuned for that. As of now, let's understand what aggregate functions are. So guys, let's say I have multiple rows, or let's say I have multiple values, and I want to group all those values together to form a single value, means a summary value. Let's say I have some values and I want to make sum of those values. So here this sum will act as an aggregate function, right? So there are many aggregate functions like count, sum, average, min, max, and many more. As of now, let's understand count function. So let's say I want to answer for this question, how many people have ordered at least 2 quantities? First understand what is this at least 2 quantities. At least 2 quantities means 2 or more, right? So guys, what do you think? Which conditional operator will be used here? Obviously greater than or equal to 2, right? So guys, before answering to this question, let me show you the table again. So let's just run this query, and here is our complete table, right? So first let's see who have ordered at least 2 quantities. At least 2 means either 2 or more than 2, right? So this one person, then this Amar 2, then Dhruv is 3rd person, Karan 4, Reva is 5th person, then Sahil 6th person, Salina is 7th person, then we have Vivan 8th person, and finally we have Shelly, she is 9th person, right? So these 9 people have ordered at least 2 quantities, right? So guys, why I am counting these values? Because after writing my query, at least I can match that my result is correct or not. So let's write the query to answer this: how many people have ordered at least 2 quantities, and the query for that will be select count string. Wait, I will explain this. From ZOMATO order, which is the name of our table, and we are writing this where condition. This time my condition is quantity should be greater than or equal to 2, because I want the answer for at least 2 quantities, right? So now let's understand what does this count string means. Guys, this count is the aggregate function which will count all the rows after this query will execute, right? So as now we have seen, there are 9 people who have ordered at least 2 quantities, right? So this count string means this complete query will find out or count only those rows where this quantity is greater than or equal to 2. So let's run this query and check if our answer is correct or not. So fine guys, we are getting answer 9, means our query is correct. So let's understand next aggregate function, that is average, right? So let's say I want to know what is the average price of cheese pizza on ZOMATO. Guys, before answering this question, let's run this query and see what our table is, right? So this is my table, have a look at it. Focus where orders is equals to cheese pizza. So Anaya has ordered cheese pizza for rupees 200. Fine. Then we have Vivan has ordered this cheese pizza for rupees 210. And Zohar has ordered cheese pizza for 230. The price for same order, that is cheese pizza, is different for all these people. This can be because of maybe they have ordered these orders on different dates, right? So I just want to know what will be the average price of these cheese pizzas on ZOMATO. So for that we will write query select average of price. Why we have written this AVG? This is the short form of average, right? Average of price, because this is the thing we want to find, right? And for which order? Cheese pizza. So we will simply write from ZOMATO order where my orders is equals to cheese pizza. So what this query will return me, guys? The average price of cheese pizza. I hope you are clear with it. Now let's run and check the results for this. So here is my result. Guys, there were 3 people who have ordered cheese pizza for different price. It was maybe 200, 210 and 230. So this is the average of all those prices, right? So I hope you are clear with these 2 aggregate functions. So apart from these, there are many more aggregate functions which we will definitely cover in our coming videos. So guys, from here, let's jump into a very important concept in SQL, that is group by clause. So now what this group by clause is? Like we have many rows and we make groups of all those rows which have same values and make a summary out of that. So let's understand this with an example. Let's say I want to find the average price of each cuisine on ZOMATO. So where this kind of statements come, like each cuisine or each state, like that. So for that we will use group by clause. Fine. Just before that, guys, we have run a similar type of query. I wanted to know what is the average price of cheese pizza. So here I had a specific condition that my order should be cheese pizza. But in this case, it's a similar query. But this time I want to find average price of each cuisine, not only cheese pizza. And for that we have query select orders, comma average price. This average price is same as this. Guys, this is an aggregate function because we want to find average price of each cuisine. Now to specify each cuisine, we will write group by orders. So let's understand this query. Select orders, then average price. So these two columns will appear this time. From which table? ZOMATO order, right? And we are grouping by orders. So before running this query, have a look at original query or actual table we have. So this is our table. Fine. And this time what we are going to do, guys, we just want orders column and average price of all those things, but group by order means it will make the group of these orders. Group by means whatever the rows are having similar values, it will just make a group of those. Means there will be this time unique values in this orders column. So let's say I want to find the average price for grilled cheese sandwich. So how this group by will do? This will pick all the grilled cheese sandwich rows and make the average of all these prices which are written in front of these values, right? So one sandwich is for rupees 145 and another one is for rupees 160. So what this group by will do? This will make a single row for grilled cheese sandwich and make the average of these two values, right? And in a similar way it will group by all these orders, right, like cheese pizza, masala dosa and every order, and make an average for all these values, that is for price. So without talking further, let's just run this query and check our results. And guys, here you can see this cheese pizza on an average cost 213, masala dosa for 120, and so on. For each cuisine we are having average price. So guys, this was all about this group by clause. Now let's jump into another clause, that is having. Now let's understand having clause. This having clause was added in SQL because we cannot use where with aggregate functions. So let's understand this with an example. Let's say I want to find the average price which is greater than 100 for each cuisine on ZOMATO. Guys, if you will match this question with the previous question, it looks very similar. But there is a little difference. This time I have a condition that my average price should be greater than 100. Fine. So let's just copy this query and add one more condition in this. Fine. So select orders and average price, group by orders. This will give answer to find the average price of each cuisine. But this time I have an additional condition that my average price should be greater than 100, right? So we will write here where average price is greater than 100. Guys, here you can see there is a cross, means this is a wrong way to write this query because we are writing a aggregate function after this where clause. So that is the reason at the place of this where clause we have to write having. Fine, we can also write this in uppercase letters as I have told you because this is a keyword. Fine, so now you can see that this is a fine query and let's run this query. So here I am having only those prices, only those average prices for each cuisine which are greater than 100. Can you see a price which is less than 100 here? No, because I have written a condition that my average price should be greater than 100. So guys, this having clause is nothing special, but we have just replaced my where clause with having clause because we cannot use where with these aggregate functions. Fine. So that was all about having clause. So till now we have seen group by clause, then we have seen having clause. Now it's time to jump on order by clause. So what does this order by do? Guys, this is used to sort a result in ascending or descending order, right? So let's just see it with an example. Let's say I want to answer which dish is most ordered on Zomato. Fine. So we will use order by and limit clause together here. Let's understand one by one. So for this, I will write query. Select orders, then sum of quantities, because I want to answer which dish is most ordered. So at least for that I want how many quantities of each order. So right, for each order I will use group by orders, and to order it in ascending order we will use this command order by then sum of quantity. So let's understand this query first and then we will see the result of this query. Select orders and sum of quantities. So these two columns will appear in my result. From which table? Zomato order. Then group by orders, because I want to group these all orders and make the sum of quantities for that, right? Just before this we have seen group by clause. And now I am writing this additional statement that order these quantities in ascending order. So guys, I haven't written ascending, but by default this order by is in ascending order. So let's run this query to check the result, and here we are having the result. So guys, here you can see this sum of quantities for all the orders are arranged in an ascending order. Guys, that is the use of this order by command, right? And this group by command, what does it do? This is grouping all my orders. So you can see all the orders are unique because all these are grouped, and then we have used this aggregate function sum quantity, which is summing all the quantities. So only one masala dosa was ordered. Then we are coming to biryani. 2 orders of biryani were there, and dahi balla was the most ordered thing, right? So I want to change it in descending order. So for that I will write TESC. Fine. Now let's run this query and check the result. So guys, now here you can see these quantities are sorted in a descending order. Means the maximum quantity appears on the top and the least one at the bottom. Fine. So that was about this order by. So we have seen the use of this order by clause. Now let's learn what is the use of this limit clause, right? So guys, my question is, which dish is most ordered? Most ordered means I want only one dish that was most ordered on Zomato. But here I am having, yes, of course I can see that dahi balla was the most ordered dish. But along with this dahi balla, why these things are appearing? So to limit on this, I will write a limit clause that I want only topmost quantity, right? So limit and 1. 1 means only one, this highest thing will appear, this highest quantity will appear. So let's run this command. Just select it completely and run this command. Fine. So here it appears to be dahi balla. Let's say I want 2 topmost dish or 3 topmost dish. So accordingly I will set the value of my limit. Let's say I want top 3 most ordered dishes from Zomato. So let's just run this command. So guys, here you can see this dahi balla, cheese pizza and fried idli. These are the top 3 dishes which were most ordered on Zomato. So this was the use of order by and limit clause. So guys, let's now understand what are aliases and why do we need aliases in SQL. So alias is nothing but a temporary name that we give to any column or any table. So why do we need these aliases? Guys, to make column names or table names more readable, we use aliases. As you can see, when we have run this query, our result was this. So orders was obviously my column name, but what is this sum quantity? This appears because of this. Guys, because I have written here some quantity, so by default name of this column appeared to be some quantity, but I am not clear with it. What is this some quantity? So let's say I want to change the name of this column. So how we can do that? Let's understand. So for this I will just copy this query and paste it, and instead of this I want name of my column as, let's say, total quantity, right? So for that I will use as AS, and then the name of this column. So let's say I want to make a name total quantity. Fine. So let's now just run this query and check if this column name is changed or not. So I will just run this query, and guys, here you can see name of my column, that is some quantity, is changed to this total quantity. So this is how we use aliases in SQL. Just we have to write as, right, and then whatever name we want to give, we can also change this name. Fine. So guys, now we will understand what delete command in SQL is. So in SQL, delete query is used to delete some existing rows from a table based on some given condition. So better understand this with an example. So let's say ZOMATO is no more serving this taco salad, right, and want to delete it. So what will be the command for that? So guys, before writing SQL command, just have a look at table. How does it looks like? So we will just run this query, select all from table, and we will see this is our table, right? And as of now we can see that in orders there is taco salad, right? But ZOMATO is no more serving this order, so we want to delete this. So what will be the command for deleting any row in SQL? The command for that is delete from, then the name of table, where orders is equals to taco salad, because we want to delete only those rows or only those tuples where this orders is equals to taco salad, right? So the query is delete from, and then we will write the name of table from which we want to delete any particular row or tuple, right? So let's just run this query, and then we will see how our table looks like. We will run this query. Fine. And let's see if it is successfully executed or not. So yes guys, this delete from ZOMATO order is successfully executed. Now we will just copy and paste this command to see now how my table looks like. To do this, we will just run this command, select and run this command. So yes guys, now let's see how many rows are remaining. So initially we were having 15 orders from 1 to 15, but now you can see order number 7 is missing. So why that? Because order number 7 was taco salad order. Fine. So this is how, if we want to delete any particular thing or any particular tuple based on some specific condition, then we can do it using this delete command. And at last we are going to learn between operator. So this between operator is used to select values within a given range, and remember guys, this operator is inclusive. Inclusive means, let's say I want to list the names of all the food items having price in between 100 and 200, right? So inclusive means this 100 and 200 will also be included in these. It means I will get the names of all the food having price either 100 or more than that, and 200 and less than that, right? So we will just write a query for this, that is So the query is select orders and price. So we will get only these two columns, orders and price. And what the condition I have applied here is where price should be between 100 and 200. And guys, just remember this between is inclusive. Inclusive simply means it will include these end values, means 100 and 200 will be included in the result, right? So to see the results, let's just run this query. And here we have these results, like cheese pizza is for 200. Here you can see this 200 was end value, but it is included in the result, right? So this was about between operator. I hope it's clear to you guys. So guys, I just hope you have all enjoyed this session. In this session we have seen all the basics of SQL, like how to create a database and table, how to insert values in a table, then how to use where conditions, how to use update command. Then we have seen conditional and logical operators. We have seen in operator. Then we have also learned aggregate functions like count and average. Followed by we have seen group by, having and order by clauses, which are really very important in SQL. Then we have seen how to use aliases, right? Then at last we have seen this delete command and between operator, right? So this was all the basics of SQL. Obviously in our coming session we will cover all these topics in very detail. So guys, to understand SQL like this in a very practical manner on a real data set, just follow our channel, subscribe to it and hit the bell icon for more such videos. Thank you for watching.